Hey, poker peeps. My name is Sky with Smart Poker Study, and in this video, I'm going to demonstrate an action step from my newest book, Post-Flop Online Poker. Within the book, there are 55 different on-the-felt and off-the-felt action steps, and this one right here that you can see on the screen is an on-the-felt action step from Chapter 5. Now, it's a play with purpose, train for consistent HUD use. You know, when you first get your Poker Tracker 4, you turn on the HUD, you look at that jumble of numbers, you go, oh my God, what do all these numbers mean? How do I use them to make decisions? Well, this action step is all about training yourself to use your HUD for every decision. So what you're going to do over your next 5 play sessions, force yourself to look at a player's play-related statistic every time you face an action. And here are some examples. You know, when you face a flop c-bet, look at their c-bet stat, both in position and out of position, to use that information. When facing a turn donk bet, look at that turn donk bet stat. When facing a river raise after you c-bet, look at that river raise c-bet stat, right? All those statistics tell you your opponent's tendencies. You can use those tendencies, those reads on their actions, to help you make good exploitative plays, whether that's folding, re-raising, calling, whatever it might be. When you look at that statistic and you see that number, make a judgment about the player's hand strength based on the action that they made, the size of the bet or raise that they made, and the actual percentage of that HUD statistic. Then you make the play that best exploits your read on the player. Doing all of this is going to train HUD use into your game. So you're going to focus on it over the next 5 sessions, and eventually it'll just become a natural thing that you do. When you face a c-bet, you look at the c-bet stat. When somebody 3-bets you, you look at their 3-bet stat. All that kind of stuff. So you're about to see me play 2 different tables as I focus with every single action I see somebody make. I'm going to look at their HUD stat and try to make an interpretation on it. Okay, let's go. All right, so you can see I just fired up these 2 tables. The HUD hasn't even kicked on yet. And then we're going to start, like I said in that in the beginning, right? We're going to train for consistent HUD use. So we see this open raise right here. I'm just going to fold this while we're on this table. We see this open raise. The first thing we want to do, sure, we know we're going to fold Jack 3, possibly, but we've got to look at his open raising statistic or raising first in from the small blind. So you pull that up in your pop-up. 13%, wow, kind of tight in the small blind. We're totally folding. We're dominated with our Jack 3 offsuit. We can fold right here, but let's think about something. Let's say maybe we want to steal. Well, we have this fold to steal, 70%. No information here. If we click on this, we can see specifically within the HUD or within the pop-up of the smart HUD right here, his fold to steal in the small blind is 87%. Wow, this might be a good opportunity to steal, but we don't have any good blocking hands. We don't want to get called. I'm just going to fold the 8-6 offsuit. But let's see what happens now. If he, oh, good, he comes in for the steal. Let's open up that pop-up once again. And then we get the steal percentage in the small blind, 35%. He has a rather wide range right here to be making that steal. Oh, and of course, he took advantage of it by 3-betting, getting him to fold that really wide range. That's one of the reasons why you want to actually look at these HUD stats. When you see, this is, of course, the other player, or this is a different player's stats, but when you see that, whoa, stealing is 57%, what a good opportunity for the big blind to be stealing against him, right? So we're just going to fold both those. Oh, let's move on to the next hand. Sorry, I mean, there's so much going on with 2 tables. I can't talk about every single hand, right? But, so I'm not a big fan of ace-5 off. Not going to do anything here. But let's say, let's fold and stay. Let's say we had open raised and this player made a 3-bet against us. We can see the 3-bet is 8%. But if we open up the pop-up, we can see it specifically 3-bet in the big blind, 8.6%. So what does that mean? Generally, with 3-betting, anything over 6% starts to get bluffy. 10% or higher, definitely bluffy over a large sample size. You know, he open raised. Oh no, he just limped in right here. So what we could do is take a look. We only have 3 hands on the player. But within the pop-up, I have the limp section right here. All his limps, 0% so far. But the fact that he limped in makes him a fish, right? So we can always give him the green color coding right there just to start things off right on that player. Start our reads off right. So let's see what happens. We're in the small blind, no hand here. 4th and 10, looking quite loose aggressive. 3-bets at 9%. Oh, he chose not to steal. Now, I don't really have a great hand to 3-bet re-steal nor defend. This player, look at this. If I'm considering a steal right here, This specific stat is big blind versus small blind open raise, and they fold. So this is a percentage of how often they fold when the small blind steals. Only 33%? That means my bluff right here with an 8-5 off isn't working that often. I'd rather just fold and move on to the next hand. When I'm bluffing somebody, I want to see an indication that they're likely to fold. So, King 3 suited, not too shabby. Min raise right here. Don't know much about this player. We've got a crappy 5-3. Generally, I think playing a hand like this, suited gapper, 5 high, is really not a money-making opportunity. I'd rather just fold this right here. He's also raising from an early position, right? And we don't know his stats, but raise first in the MP, and the EP 0%. Yeah, we're just folding. Raising right here, fold and stay. So let's take a look at this. He's a 36-9 player. Very loose passive, even though he's in the MP right here, which can sometimes be a steal percentage. Nah, that guy, 36-9, loose passive, he wasn't opening to steal. He had a hand way ahead of what the crappy hand that I held. Oh, nice, the pocket tens. So when I open raise, what should my opponents be looking at? Well, they should be looking at my own raise first in from the EP. You know, it's only been 14 hands so far. Oh, nice. So we don't know how often this player folds, but let's go ahead. Because he's loose aggressive, in the small blind, he's probably open raising really big. Oh, good. It worked, but raise first in the small blind, 71%. Wow. Yeah, he's an aggressive small blinder. So that was a good 3-bet re-stealing opportunity. Even though, I mean, I guess we block pocket jacks and pocket queens and ace queen. Ace 7 suited. Who is this? Oh, I don't have any stats on him. Sometimes what I like to do when I don't know anything about the player, but I have a hand decently worth 3-bet re-stealing with, or 3-bet stealing, 3-bet bluffing, I should say. Stealing is from the blinds. I'm just going to fold, but I'm going to stay to kind of watch the hand. Well, nobody 3-bet and we don't get to see anything. But, you know, when you're on these fast fold tables, fold and stay quite often so you can start to learn about your opponents. Ace 10 offsuit, Mookie. Oh, he doesn't do anything. Now, before we open raise, let's gauge how these players are likely to 3-bet from their position. Wow, he doesn't like to call, but he 3-bets 4 out of 30 from the small blind. I'm going to face a 3-bet quite often. So here's my plan. I'm going to open raise, face, well, no. My plan was to open raise and then 4-bet with my ace blocking hand. Because I hold an ace, he has less aces, ace king, ace queen in his range to defend against a 4-bet. So you can see how I use statistics not only to gauge what a player is up to, but also plan for future opportunities in the hand. He does not like to fold. I got one of the worst hands in poker. I'm outie skidouty. 10-9 off. I don't open that under the gun. Now, we haven't seen really many post-flop situations. Hopefully somebody calls so we can go post-flop so we can start to look at some C-bet related stats. Just going to fold here. 53-17, very loose passive player. We can definitely give him the green tag. Tag is player box 2 right there. And, of course, I'm folding. Let's see here. I'm not going to call and defend just to go post-flop. But what we can do is we can take a look. Before we make a call pre-flop, you always want to take a look at their C-betting stat. Of course, it's 100%, 2 out of 2. But a player like this, let's pop this open real quick. And then we'll just move on to the next hand. But we could still see this. So, oh, well, it reset. Let's pop open somebody else. Oh, now let's actually play a hand instead of talking about strategy. Oh, wow. Nice big 4-bet shove there with queens. And, wow. Calling with ace-king off. That was a rather risky play on your part. Oh, maybe he only had 50 big blinds. Ace-king didn't hit much of anything. What I would generally do, so it's kind of a wet board, especially for a button caller. They have lots of middle pairs and broadways in their range. He hit plenty of top pair hands, gut shots right now as well. So I'm not a fan at all of c-betting, but I do have a lot of backdoor equity. So while I say I'm not a fan of c-betting, I am going to make the c-bet right here. If he has pocket deuces, if he has ace-4 off, he's not going to be calling, right? I also have the backdoor nut flush draw and the backdoor straight draw. I had a lot of cards that could help me right here. He called, he hit something on this board. I know that's not going to scare him off, but he wasn't scared on that board. He's not going to be scared now. I'm just checking. Hoping hit a cheap ace or king on the river. I generally only make double barrels when I see that it works. So you can see this player right here, Vadums, folds 51, and then 28%. He does not fold against double barrels. He makes his decision quite often on the flop. So he's a good person to make the initial bluff against. Let's see. Oh, this player. I know it's probably a small sample, but he folds 50, but folds 100 on the turn. He's a good one to double barrel bluff against. Ooh, pocket fours. I'll definitely come in for the open raise. Don't know too much about him. 17% is 2 out of 12. Don't want to face a 3-bet, but I don't expect a lot of 3-bet bluffs from this player. Let's see what it is specifically. Out of the small blind, only 2.8. Good. Oh, what a nice flop. Definitely going to be going for value here. Ignore this hand. Now, what I would generally do is look at his fold to c-bet statistic right here. I don't know what that is. So I'm just going to bet for value. Hopefully he has a couple of spades, maybe a jack, maybe even a 6 or pocket 7s that he's not willing to fold right now. Gotta come in for the raise. 9, cool. It didn't complete any draws. Doesn't scare me at all, right? If he had pocket 9, so what? Or so be it, I am beat. But I am still betting for value, going a little over, yeah, let's go right there. 3/4 pot. Roughly 3/4. Got one player. He folds only 56% of the time. Very dry board. I can get a lot of value right here. I'm going to bet a little bit bigger, 4.5 big blinds. Oh, the ace hits. Hopefully he called me with the ace the whole way. He might bet out right here if he holds an ace. Nope. The ace might be a scare card now. He could have a couple of spades. He's folding no matter what. But I want to go for some kind of value. I'm not scared of anything. Don't have any river stats really to look at on him. I would look at his fold to river bet, which is this stat right here, 64% on that player. But let's go ahead and bet something small just for value. I mean, hoping he can call with a jack or a 9, maybe even a rivered ace of spades right here that had the nut flush draw, hits the ace on the river. And there's no way. Oh, and then he folds. Maybe he just had a flush draw. Maybe he just had pocket 7s and finally decided to give up. What a shame. Come on, Mookie, make a play. Actually, don't make a play. You don't have any stats for me to read. I am not going to steal this one right here. As you can see, well, he folds a lot. 3 bets a lot. Yep, not going to do it. Fold to steal. Don't know much about this player. Has got a big stack. Oftentimes, big stacks, it's not a super big stack, but he has bigger than a starting stack. They often like to gamble a little bit when they're up, you know? So I'm going to wait till I learn a little bit more and also have a better stealing hand. Ace-Jack is not the greatest under the gun hand. We've got a 3-better here. We've got another blind that won't likely give up, but he can defend with a really wide range. So I am going to open raise. So a hand like this might not be in my normal open raising range, but hey, it worked out. And especially when you have some blinds who can call with worse, it's not a bad opportunity to expand your ranges slightly. Definitely just checking right here. Under the gun limper. Anytime somebody limps in, so we don't know his stats. Let's look at this player. This player limps 0% right here. Not much at all. But this guy limped from under the gun. Definitely a fishy player. If I raise to get him to fold, he's not folding. Anytime a fish limps in, kind of expect a call. And if you don't want to call, do not ISO raise. I'm not going to bet on that flop. He's got plenty of ace-x hands, broadways in his limping range. I've got absolute crap. I'm just giving up at this point. I don't feel the need to fight in heads-up limped pots, really. Definitely. But before we make this play, 4th and 10 likes to 3-bet. What about from the big blind? 10.5. What about versus an EP raise or an MP raise? 0%. Yeah, let's come in for that raise. Kind of a wet board, but if he has ace high or king high that does not have any kind of gut shot, he's possibly quite likely folding right here. And it is at 50%. What's he folding out of position? Fold to c-bet. Oh, only 40%. Doesn't really like to fold. He folds more in position. Interesting. 10 jack suited. Let's pop that up under the gun. And you know, What I just did, I'm not a fan of. I just open raised without, because I was folding on this hand. I wasn't looking at the remaining players in the hand, so I made a mistake right there. We've got a frequent three better, three better, three better, not a three better, and I don't mind him defending. I do have position right here, but I did not pay attention ahead of time. Quite often, I am folding a hand like 10 Jack when I have so many three betters in position against me. Not going to defend, but let's take a look at his early position. So first off, here's his raise first in at 18%. That's a helpful number, but you always want to look at it by position. And let's see, 15, 14. So definitely positionally aware. The small blind is where he raises the most. Look at that. On the button, only 20%. Interesting. Plays the same range in the first two spots and the same range in the cutoff and button as well. Kind of a tight player, so I'm going to want to... Of course, the player changed, but I'm going to want to be careful before 3-bet bluffing that prior player. Oh, let's see somebody open raise. I definitely have a hand worthy of calling. Not a big fan of going out of position post-flop, giving somebody bread and butter. But, oh, what the... And you got a short stack? I can't push him off with this. I'd rather just call here or check, hope to hit something, and then potentially go for value against a fishy player. You can see already, guaranteed fish. Short stacker, limping in the MP, or in under the gun +1. So just going to check. Oh, pair plus a draw. Let's go ahead. Oh, yes. Let's bet. And the reason why I'm betting is because I do have that draw. Start to build that pot in case I hit. It gives me fold equity, so I don't even have to hit as well. And from out of position, a lot of players... he was a kind of a fishy player. Who knows how he views out of position donk bets like that, but he might view that as crazy strength. And if he folds a king or a queen right there, you know, my under pair of sevens, if he hits it on the turn, or I'm avoiding him hitting that on the turn, or I'm actually charging him for coming along if he wants to call with that, like a king high or queen high hand. King jack, so we got a frequent three better here. What's that percentage? 17 out of 120. We can expect a 3-bet quite often. Another 3-better and a 3-better. I'm going to fold, but I am going to stay and watch this hand. I hope to see an open raise, potentially a 3-bet or a call, and let's see what happens post-flop. Or everyone folds. All right, so we've been going for 15 minutes. What I'm going to do is sit out the next big blind on all the tables. But this is just a good demonstration of what you should be doing as you're training yourself to utilize that HUD. Just play 1 or 2 tables, and at every opportunity, look at a stat and make a judgment call on it. And you can also make a judgment call what you think about or what you think they're doing. 33, 3 out of 9. And he folds 100% of the time? Heck yeah, good 3-bet bluffing opportunity. Oh. Flopping the top pair as well. Now, if he does have ace-king, he could totally call right now, giving me value, ace-king of clubs or something like that. Or he can just fold and just give me the hand. He might have had pocket eights or something. Ace-5 suited that didn't hit a draw, you know. Okay, so raising under the gun, looking loose aggressive. I can actually give this player the orange lag color. And then let's fold and stay, but let's take a look at his stats right here. Well, bummer. So we've got a raise first, and I'm going to let it time down so we can look at this player's stats. On the button, raising first in is 33%. Has quite a wide range right here. Folding to 3-bets. Let's say I had not a 3 high. Let's say I had an ace high hand. I was considering a 3-bet. Well, I would want to look at his raise if I was considering a 3-bet bluff, I should say. I want to look at his raise and then fold. On the button, 100%. It is only 1 out of 1. It's a small sample, but that's kind of indicative. It's a start at least to say that maybe he's capable of folding quite often from the button. And if that's the case, great. I should be coming in for a 3-bet bluff when I have a hand worthy of making that 3-bet bluff. Let's see here. Let's just fold. Oh, not stay. Let's see another hand. Oh, and then we're out. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, I got plenty other demonstrations like this. But if you think that taking action like this is really going to help improve your game, and I guarantee that it will, I I highly recommend that you pick up Post Flop Online Poker. My latest book, you can get it on Amazon or go to my website, smartpokerstudy.com/postfloponlinepoker. And there's a link in the description below. All right, once again, thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.